Many rosette-shaped succulents will trap water in the middle or where stem meets the leaf. These will mostly be Echeveria or Graptopetalum cultivars, but many others can be affected as well. You may have seen tools developed especially for blowing water out of succulents. And there is a raging debate online whether this is at all necessary. And so in this video we'll have a look at what the potential problems can be if water sits in rosettes for far too long and whether you should be blowing it out every time it rains. The main issue water can cause sitting on succulents and other plants for too long is fungal disease and other water-dwelling harmful organisms. Fungi that cause leaf rot are one of the major concerns. Because the water can get trapped in rosette for several days, if the weather is wet, that whole part has no access to oxygen. The leaf can then start dying as a result, which is when the decay and rot organisms move in. Powdery mildew and black spots are also more prolific when the plant surfaces are wet for too long. Their spores float in the air, land on plants, and wait until conditions are right. Just like seeds, they need to be moist continuously for a period of time to sprout. And the last problem trapped water can pose is loss of farina. Many succulents grow this white waxy layer to protect themselves from strong UV. Farina is basically sunscreen for plants. Sometimes you will even be able to see it floating on the water's surface. Because the water is usually trapped in the middle, it will affect farina on the youngest, most vulnerable leaves. Due to less farina, these tiny leaves will now be much more prone to sunburn. And the last issue is mineral buildup and stains on leaves. Mineral buildup is unlikely to be a problem with rainwater but can happen with tap water, especially if your water is hard. This will manifest itself as white marks on leaves that are difficult to wash off. Some of these minerals can be toxic to plants and can cause burns or other issues. But even rainwater can pose a bit of danger if you have debris caught in the rosettes. This can be bits of other plants blown in or during flowering, petals and other flower parts. When they sit in water, they'll start to decay, which will then stain the water. Once the water dries, it can leave a permanent brown mark on the leaves. This will depend on a few things like your climate, where your plants are stored, frequency of watering and type of water. Personally, I don't blow any water out and none of the other nursery owners I know do, but there are a few reasons that allow us to not do it. One of the main reasons is that it would take far too long to do this for tens of thousands of plants every time it rains or they get watered. The second reason is our climate. It's usually dry and hot enough for plants to dry out fairly fast on their own. Having said that, we do get very wet years when La Nina forms and many plants susceptible to fungal disease need to be moved in rainproof greenhouses. But more often than not, the plants are okay outdoors all year round. We also use shade cloths above to prevent debris falling in and sunburns. And last but not least, all sun-loving succulents are in full sun position to help with getting them dry. Even if they are wet for too long, lots of fungi won't thrive in full sun. But this will not be the case for everyone. Cooler, wetter and more humid climates will have a different effect and succulents can easily start suffering when water gets trapped. If you want to stay on the safe side and have the time, I say blow the water out. There's no harm in doing it and it may just save your favorite Echeveria from rotting. So there are a few things you can use. Many people swear by a product called Succulent Leaf Blower. It's basically a thin long tube with a rubber ball at the end. You squeeze the ball and air comes out. If you don't want to waste money, you can use a syringe or manually blow into a straw. If your plants are well grown in, you can also just dip them. And for those of you with lots of plants, leaf blower on the lowest setting should do the trick. You may, however, need to have the plant secured in a tray. I'd also be mindful of any fresh repotted plants where the soil has not settled in and can blow off and make more mess. I've tried my battery one and it works a treat, but petrol powered blowers may be too strong and just blow your pots off. Do take care if you want to go down this road though, especially if the pots are small and not secured. If you have a favorite way of blowing water out that I've not mentioned here, please do share with us in the comments below. And that is all for today. I hope this video was useful, and if you'd like to learn more about succulents, hit the subscribe button or go to succulentgrowingtips.com. Thank you so very much for watching.